Hi, it's Julie with Paradigm Interiors, and this is my infinity screen. Just kidding. It is, I am going to show you guys two of my favorite websites for kitchen lighting and the reason why I like those. And these are not sponsored sites. Nobody is paying me to say this. This is just from my own personal experience in using these sites. So the first one is Build.com. I really like this one because if you go up into this right hand corner, you will see that they have a learning center. And if you click on Learning Center, it's going to take a while. I guess the screen share is not all that interactive. I don't know. Anyway, you can type in lighting. You see, I've already done that. Click search. And then you'll get articles all about lighting, including like the things we've been talking about this week. Why your kitchen deserves under cabinet lighting, LED lighting, why you should use LED lighting. Then they also have, just lots of information on attractive lighting, how to install a vanity light. And there was one on here about recessed lighting too, which we talked about yesterday, and spacing your recessed lights. How to choose switches and dimmers. But that is why I like Build.com, because they do have a lot of really great educational articles. My second lighting website that I really enjoy is Lumens.com. They really, as the name implies, lumens, they started out selling light fixtures, but now they've gotten into lots of different types of lighting. So the one that I'm going to look at here is this chandelier. You can see, how pretty it looks and the style. It's kind of this eclectic room style that they put it in, and shows you a lot of information about the chandelier. But if you scroll down here, this is one of the reasons why I really like this company. One is they have these really cool scale drawings. So these are important. Like really important, these scale drawings for lighting, because you see the measurements 28 by 20 on here, or roughly 21 inches. But in your mind, you think, oh, well, that's this big by this big, and it doesn't really seem that big to you. But for some reason, lighting has this like effect, because there's so much space in between the lighting, that a lighting fixture that is 28.3 inches wide, that's a very, very wide lighting fixture. And that you're going to want to have a pretty big room and a pretty big table or island underneath a lighting fixture that size. So what it shows here is, a woman who is about 5 feet 6 inches roughly tall, and of a normal to slim build. It's showing you how big that lighting fixture would be compared to that human scale. And that human scale is so important. And that's one of the reasons why I really love Lumens. If you go back to the details tab, another thing that it tells you is it tells you about the lumens, because if you're ordering LED lighting, the wattage on these lights is not going to be the same as your typical 60, 40, 100 watt light bulb. You're going to have to understand that the watts is how much energy it needs to work, or how much energy it's going to use while it's working. whereas the lumens is actually how much light it produces. And so here on this little, you get this little graph that shows you lumens of the LED bulb as compared to the wattage on your traditional incandescent bulb and LED fluorescent halogen. So, you know, incandescent, the reason why we don't really use those anymore is because they use up a lot of energy. As you can see, LED uses less energy to run than any other lighting does. It's pretty close to fluorescent, but slightly less. And over time, of course, that is less. And then it shows you how bright it is. So you get, for the same amount of wattage, you actually get a lot of light off of a LED light. And then the other really important piece is, and you can, you know, Google this, as I talked about yesterday, the kelvins. And so this is kind of a new idea. We've got wattage, we've got lumens, we've got volts that we talk about in light bulbs, but it's not a new idea. It's been around a long time, but it's just new in the discussion because incandescent bulbs kind of always had the same Kelvin level, and the Kelvin tells you how cool or warm the color temperature is. So basically what that means is cool is a blue color temperature. It looks blue, the light, and warm is a yellow, more yellowy light. And so this one says that it has a 2700 Kelvin color temperature. And what that means is it's going to be a little bit closer to the way an incandescent bulb looks, as opposed to the traditional LED bulbs that we're used to seeing that give us that almost bright natural sunlight look. So that's one thing that I really love about Lumens, is that they do this, and they're one of the only websites I know that gives you this much information on lighting fixtures. I've used even Buildcom, Bellicor, you know, Home Depot, Lowe's, even some of the professional to the trade lighting sources that I have may not have this much information about the lighting fixtures themselves. So that's one reason why I love Lumens, is this human scale that they have on nearly every single lighting piece. So not all of them, but most of them, which is so important when you're choosing a chandelier or a pendant. It'll give you that idea. It has the chart to show you how bright it is compared to traditional incandescent wattage, how many lumens you need. And there are articles that you can find in Build.com and on the Lumens website about how many lumens you need for different rooms. So for kitchens and bathrooms, you need way more lumens, way more light than you do for, let's say, your living room or your dining room. And then it also gives you this color temperature information, because remember, you're ordering an LED bulb that's coming in the fixture when it gets to you. So that lighting fixture, that beautiful chandelier that we see here, that has all those little lights on them, they're sending you all of those LED bulbs in the light fixture. And those LED bulbs are going to last a very, very long time because they don't burn out. And you don't want to have to change those if the light looks too different from the other lights in your room. So that's why the Kelvin temperature is important. That number is important. And when you go through, let's say you select this and then you decide to add recessed lights in this same room. You decide, okay, I would like to put recessed lights, or as they have here, you can see in their picture, they've got some track lighting. So that track lighting and that chandelier, you see how the color of the light has a soft yellow color. That's because the Kelvin temperature of those light bulbs is very close to each other. So that whoever did the lighting for this made sure that one wasn't blue and the other one looked yellow, which can happen with LED lights. So make sure that you're paying attention to these kinds of things and looking at that information. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen.